Hi guys, happy Monday. Hope you had a fabulous weekend. So today we're going to talk about two special kind of angles, complementary angles and supplementary angles. They are angle pairs that add up to a certain number. They do not need to be next to each other. They do not need to be in the same shape. It's just two angles that add up to a certain number, and you have to memorize the number that they add to. So make sure you memorize complementary angles add up to what number, supplementary angles add up to what number. A little review, you do not have this note. So if we were at school, I'd have you draw it and I'd look at it. But instead, I'm going to draw three angles, and you guys are going to tell me which kind it is. Okay, here's my first angle. Oops. There's my vertex. Each of these are a ray. And we're going to call that angle 1. So angle 1 is which kind of angle? Acute, right, or obtuse? If you said obtuse, you are correct. I always remember it by acute. Oh, little bitty puppies are so cute. They're little. So little angles are acute. So less than 90-degree angles, they're little. Oh, they're so cute. Obtuse, I think of obese. And if you're obese, you're very fat. So very wide angles, very big angles, bigger than 90. So this is bigger than 90, so it is obtuse. What about this angle? That would be a right angle. If you said right angle, you're correct. This little mark in the corner always indicates right angles. If it has a little mark, it is a right angle. If it does not have a little box, it's not, unless they give you some information. You cannot assume it's a right angle by looking at it. And then obviously this last one is going to be acute. So this is angle 2. Angle 2 is acute. If I had a line, this is a line. This is one line. It's extending both ways indefinitely. That's a line. This part, angle 2, is acute. But this angle, angle 3, is obtuse. This is an angle pair that we're going to talk about today. If I put an angle here, this angle and this angle, we'll call this one angle 4 and this one angle 5, those two make up a special angle pair as well. So these two are what we're talking about today. All right, we're back in our notes. This is review. To name an angle, you list the 3 points that make up the two rays. The middle point, the middle letter that you're going to write, is the vertex. It has to be the pointy part. So this is your angle symbol. The middle letter has to be this B, because the B is a vertex. So ABC, or you can also call it CBA. Grading, like when I read the answers and you guys grade, is always difficult in this chapter, because I have to read every angle both ways. So, hey, I get to grade them, and I won't have to read them both ways. This is another way you indicate angles. Inside the angle has a letter, so that would be angle B. Sometimes you're going to see the angles with a number. It's inside, so that would be angle 3. I forgot to put the angle mark there. So you can have them with dots, and that's how you name it, making sure that the middle letter is your vertex. Notice the middle letter for both is B. If they actually name an angle, you can use the letter that they name it with, or if they name it with a number, use the number they do it with, name it with. All right, 90-degree angle, hopefully we all know, because we've already talked about that. 180-degree angle is actually just a straight line. All right, so let's get to what we're talking about today. That was all review. All right, the first kind of angle is this kind of angle. See that in there? So we know it's a right angle, but these two that make up the right angle are called complementary angles. Complementary angles. They like to compliment each other. Oh, you're so cute. Oh, no, you're right. No, you're right. You're right. No, you're right. Oh, together we're right. So they add up to 90 degrees. Sum means add. These two are adjacent angles. We'll get to that terminology later, but it just means that they're side by side and they share an edge. But you could have two angles like this. This would be a 60-degree angle, then this would be a 30-degree angle. These are also complementary angles, and they're not adjacent. They're just two angles that are hanging out. All right, the other kind of angle pair that we're going to talk about today are supplementary angles. Supplementary. Supplementary. Supplementary angles. And those angles, the sum, what does sum mean? Addition. Their angles add up to 180 degrees because 180 degrees is a straight line. 360 is a complete circle. 180 is just a straight line. So we can see a straight line. We have two angles that add up to 180. So those two angles are supplementary. This is just a hint how you can remember. C for complementary is C for corner. So the corner of your room is a right angle. S for supplementary, S for straight. So if it's supplementary, it's straight line, which is 80 degrees. I'm telling you, you have to memorize. Okay, so this one's asking which angle pairs are complementary. Complementary is kind of like a math action word here. Complementary means they have to add up to what? Hopefully you guys said 90 degrees. So I'm going to start by looking at this one. That angle is 66. It has to add up to 90. So I'm going to take 90 minus 66. That's 24. Oh, right there is 24. So I know those two are angle pairs, and I have to name them. So I'm going to name them. My vertex is the pointy part, so it's B. So my angle symbol, CBA, is complementary to, this one has to go in the middle, angle DEF. Another way I can write that is angle ABC. B, I just have to make sure is in the middle of the three. And angle FED. E, I have to make sure is the middle letter because it's my vertex. All right, I'm going to change colors and let's find another pair. So I've taken care of those two. Now I've got a 48. I need to find its complementary. So I know it's going to add up to 90. I need to find the missing one. 90 minus 48. 42 degrees. Oh, right there it is. So I know those two are complementary, so I have to write them. So start with my angle symbol because I'm naming an angle. H is my vertex, so I have to make sure it's in the middle. IHG and angle ONM, making sure N is in the middle because it's my vertex. Or angle GHI, that's this one here, it's the same one, and angle MNO. You don't have to write them both ways. I'm just letting you know you can write it either way. I only need one or the other, but I do need the angle symbol and I do need the letters with a vertex in the middle. All right, so now I'm going to change to green, and I'm going to move to this one because I haven't done this one yet. Complementary means they add up to what? 90. So 90 minus 54. 36 degrees. So yep, that's good. And go ahead and write those angles down. See how you write them. Angle JKL and angle PQR are supplementary, or if you wrote it a different way, angle JK, oh, I already did JKL. Let me erase that one. All right, so let's see. Angle LKJ and angle RQP. vertex, 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 vertex. Okay. So those are your supplementary angle pairs. Let's look at the next page. All right, angles K and P are complementary. We are given angle K. We need to find measure of angle P. Complementary, I need to remember, complementary means they add up to what? 90 degrees. You have to know that. So you guys try and find measure of angle P. Hit pause and hit play when you're done. Measure of angle P equals 71 degrees. So make sure you have your degree symbol. Let's see here. These are complementary. Complementary means they add up to 90 degrees. So 90 minus 28. Measure of angle P equals 62 degrees. All right, you guys try this one. Hit pause. So did you get measure of angle P equals 158 degrees? If so, good. If not, why? I'm going to double check it by adding them together. 8, 9, 10, 5, 6, 7, 8, 180. So I just double checked it to make sure it was right. I didn't make a silly error like I do all the time. Okay, let's see here. They're supplementary, so I know they're going to add to 180. So hit pause and you try and do it. Okay, measure of angle P equals 66 degrees. I'm going to check it real quick. Okay, it checks because they added up to 180 degrees. All right, tell if it's supplementary. So it means it adds up to 180 degrees. All right, you try it. No, not supplementary. They are actually, what do we call it because it adds up to 90? They are actually complementary. Is that what you got? I sure hope so. Okay, and this is your last one. You do it and see if you get it right. I added them together and I got 180 degrees. So yes, they are supplementary. A little math nerd humor. Perhaps, Your Honor. So they're in a court of law, and this is the judge. This is the lawyer. These are the guys on trial. Perhaps, Your Honor, it is true that each of my clients is wrong by your upright standards. Ha, ha, ha. It's 90 degrees, so he's upright. And yet I intend to prove today that these two so-called wrongs really do make a right. So we've got 42, 48. Add them together. It should be 90, right? Because a right angle is how many degrees? 90 degrees. So that means these two angles are what kind of angles? Complementary. See what I'm saying? Math nerd humor. Love it. All right, homework. Homework is in Khan Academy. I know some of you guys did it yesterday, but I put up 2 of the same assignments instead of 2 different assignments. So go back in and make sure you actually did both of these assignments before you think, oh, I did it yesterday. So khanacademy.org, use your Google username and login. Your 2 assignments are complementary, supplementary angles, visual and no visual. When you're finished, come back to Google Classroom and just check that you turn it in. And then I'll record the grades. You get to see the grades in Khan Academy. But all right, have a fabulous Monday.